Hi, I'm John Munoz, and welcome to the Business Networking Channel hosted by the Hispano Chamber of Commerce de las Cruces. With me today in studio is Toby Rue.
Hey John, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good to have you back. So
thank you. I've been gone a long time. I feel like it's been a long time.
It's been a while. It's been a while, and for someone your age, it seems to be longer.
You know, we only get better with age. That's all
I know. That's right. Like a fine wine.
That's
I
right.
understand.
That's right.
So I'm very excited about today's show.
Sure.
We have a very, very interesting project that we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that and talk to our special guest, let's talk about the Hispano Chamber and see what's going on.
Absolutely. Members in our audience out there, it's good to be back. I'm glad that the new year started up, and now we're moving into March, and there's a lot of things going on. It doesn't seem like it, but January and February, we're the first quarter.
I know.
And so, you know, if you have not kept up with your New Year's resolutions, I give you permission to try again. We still got another several months to go before Christmas comes around. So what we're going to do, talk about the Hispano Chamber. We got a couple of things that, one of the things that's dear to my heart. We have our middle school recognition program, and it will be held, our third quarter will be held March 16th, which is a Wednesday at Doniana Community College. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been there, you have to come by. This is our signature program. It's all about kids, early intervention, and it's a great event to get with. Last week we had, last time, John, I think we had 140 people show up. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it was just a great time. Coach Menzies was our speaker. This year we're going to have, or this time we're going to have community, Doniana Community College, Rosa de la Torre Burmeister. She has a fantastic story about accomplishment and empowering and enduring, and she's now the Career Services Director at Doniana Community College. So.
I've heard she's a wonderful speaker.
She is. I'm telling
Great story.
you, she is. Also, for our audience out there, March 17th is our Mix and Mingle. We're back to it. We got to get together, enjoy it. It's going to be at Aprendamos from 5:30 to 7:30. Come on out. You're going to network. We're going to meet people, share your business cards, have a great time. A little bit of chips and salsa maybe, but we're going to have a great time at our Mix and Mingle. And March 24th, as we round up the month of March, something very dear to my heart is the March of Dimes. Mm-hmm. And John, you are a celebrity waiter, and so, as they say, all shapes and all sizes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we have
training.
Yeah,
we have training. I'm ready.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm in training.
You're gonna maitre d' the white.
I'm all set.
Are you really? Guys, if you haven't bought your tickets, you got to get out there and do it now. Support the March of Dimes. The Hispano Chamber of Commerce supports them. The business supports them, and John supports him, a celebrity waiter. Maybe he'll bring you ice or something. I don't know. So remember, guys, we got a fun, full-fledged March, and we got a lot of things going on. The Hispano Chamber of Commerce, in case you forgot, we have moved our location. We're now at the 1990 HM Suites, right across from the Arroyo Plaza, and we are ready to serve you, Las Cruces, in the community, and thank you for your appreciation.
Thank you, Toby. Well, there's a lot of good things in store this month. Now, one of the things you mentioned, the Aprendamos mixer. Yeah. Now, that is around St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so if you remember the legend of San Patricio for Mexico and South America, in Texas and obviously New Mexico, that's a day to celebrate. So there'll be other stuff besides chips and salsa.
I just thought it was about having the green, was it the 4-leaf clover or something? Okay.
No. There's going to be other stuff. And I don't know if you'll have some green salsa as well, but we'll make it happen. So we're pretty excited here. Yeah. So now one of the things that we want to talk about here is the
our special guest.
Yes, and they have a really neat project that we want to talk about.
Well,
so introduce our guest.
Well, I think it's Tommy. So before we get to our guest, let's just kind of rehash what happened. Last night, Monday night, if you all had a chance to see, there's a special thing called the Academy Awards. The Academy Awards is something where actors and people in the music, the film industry, you know, that's their day to shine. The red carpet, all the glitz and glamour you can imagine. And New Mexico is on the cusp, I believe, of starting to make a footprint in the film industry. Now, we are in a lot of different directions are coming in, but our audience, our guests today, they are either on the early end or in the middle of all this. And so I think this is a very timely interview and meeting with the Academy Awards, and we're going to move forward with Darkness on the River, Darkness in the River. And today our guest is going to be Branden Jacko, who's the writer and director, and Mark Vasconcellos, who's an actor, celebrity actor, an instructor at the Doniana Community College, and a co-producer for this event.
Right.
Welcome, guys. What a great honor to have you on our set.
Thanks.
It's good to have you here. You know, one of the things too that when I think about Mark here, when I think about film, when I think about acting, and I've seen some of your work and commercials, you know, this is a top-rated person that we have here. You know,
Very
as far as
experienced.
artist, I want to
Very
call you an
experienced.
artist. Is that okay if I can call
Sure.
you?
No, there's
Is
an
that-
art to
or-
it. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. And so definitely some great work, and I've seen some of your national commercials as well.
Thank you.
I'm there flipping through my DirecTV, make sure everyone uses DirecTV.
Comcast
or
cable to
Comcast
catch
as
our
well.
channel 98.
So as
I've got a lot of commercials on Comcast.
yeah, no, I've seen those commercials
Yeah.
as well. So I'm flipping through the channels, and all of a sudden I see Mark there with something like hitting him on the forehead between the eyes or something like that. I can't remember what that commercial was
Oh, he's
about.
got something to sell.
Yeah. So
But yeah, no, it's been great so far, and I've had a great time teaching some of our film students at Doniana Community College, and a lot of them are just taking off now. Last night there was a movie premiere over at the Cineport for some of our NMSU grads that produce a feature film called Bomb Squad. So our students are getting out there and doing something, and Branden came up with a great little script based on the La Llorona legend, and so he's going to be making a short film about it.
Well, Mark, take us back a little bit, and let's get our audience and our members that are watching out there. Let's kind of say, just to let's set the stage. No pun intended, but let's set the stage. So you teach at the Doniana Community College.
Yep.
And so you're giving experience to students or even people that are interested in the film.
Right.
And through that experience, you get to see the passion in some of these young students, young
Sure.
creative minds. And one of the passionate things that we talked about off the set was this young man, Branden.
Right.
Now, Branden, you told me this is something that you've wanted to do, and you know, I don't know how much experience you have, but you've taken the classes, and you sat up at night and you were thinking about Hispanic culture folklore here in southern New Mexico. And for those of you that remember or don't recall, La Llorona is a very I remember being scared with that when I was John. When I was small, I just know that, right? Do you remember?
No, yeah. I mean, I remember my mom would try to get us in the house
Sure.
before dusk, saying La Llorona's going to get
That's
you.
right.
Oh,
I
okay,
remember.
well, you know, as soon as the sun started getting dark and setting, and we were in. Okay, La Llorona, let's get in. You know, and this lasted till I was in college.
Sure.
No,
Don't
I'm
be
kidding.
scared.
No,
Don't
not
be
till
scared.
I was in college. You know,
But that you were scared of the dark or La Llorona?
I was scared of the dark. So, but yeah, no. So that's obviously folklore that transcends, just not into New Mexico, but Texas and Mexico
Sure.
and other parts
The whole
of
southern
Latin
region,
America.
right? You know.
Yeah.
So, Branden, this is your time to shine. You had this vision and feeling to do this, and you put a script. You tell us your story.
Well, I figured, it touches home for a lot of people. So, why not, write about it? And I think a lot of people would appreciate, what we're doing with it, because we've, brought it to Las Cruces and everything like that. So,
Are you from Las Cruces?
Roswell. I was born in Roswell.
So you're New Mexican.
Yeah.
So a native New Mexican learning to film, and the film industry is growing. We want to talk a lot about your film, but kind of give us a quick synopsis and tie us in to what the film industry is doing, because the ultimate goal, I understand, John, we're talking about, is to get your film, and one of the most common things we're doing here is the film festival.
Right.
So Mark, kind of bring us up to speed on how that's working out, and we'll get back on the show.
Well, basically, the first stepping stone for young filmmakers is to get a script, put together a short film production, and hopefully come up with a product that is viable to get into different film festivals all around the world.
Sure.
Because practically every major city has a film festival now. So it's a great calling card to be seen and heard as a director. And bottom line is, if you've got a great story, which his script is great, it's a lot of fun, it's an interesting adaptation to it. You make a great movie and you can submit it to film festivals, get into competitions, win prizes, and get noticed.
One of the things that I want to stress here too, because this is fairly new to Las Cruces, but I think as far as the talent and the skill level, it's renowned. When we've had festivals here, one of the comments that I keep hearing is that people here in Las Cruces, you, Mark, your students, you know, very high caliber professional and artist.
We have Mark
You know,
Madoff.
Yeah, he
Right.
you know, he and others that come in, the
That's
you know,
right.
producers, directors, whatnot. You know, we hear comments, you know, saying, you know what, I'd rather work with the students than some of the
Highly
you know,
talented,
pros
that's
somewhere
right.
out there
Right.
on the
No, we have
West
great,
Coast.
great crews coming up. We have two great film schools here, CMI of NMSU and CMT of Doña Ana Community College. And we're pumping out great film students. So basically, if they get out there and get recognized, the colleges in southern New Mexico get recognized as well. And there's always been kind of this struggle between North and South when it comes to filmmaking. And we're getting a lot more business down here now. So hopefully the film business will continue to grow in New Mexico, and these guys can make their movies, get recognition, and stay here and continue making movies, hopefully big-time features.
Now, how does that work? I mean, you've got a pool of artists. You know, it was always, when I was growing up, was go to California,
Right.
follow the stars,
Right.
you know, see the Hollywood sign. Is there a shift, or is that the opportunity now to make a space or make a footprint can happen here in southern New Mexico? What's your take on that, Mark?
There has been a huge shift. A lot of the films are leaving Hollywood and New York. They're looking for smaller venues, cheaper markets to work with and produce their films.
Economies of scale, we like to say here.
Yeah, but bottom line is it comes down
Sure.
to dollar competition,
Absolutely.
and producers are pretty shrewd. They want to make their movies for under budget and as little as possible, because it takes a lot to make a movie. And plus now with the digital revolution, a lot of people are making short films and features.
You just brought it up to my attention. Now, I remember a couple of years ago, and I don't know the rating, so we're trying to stay, you know, family-oriented show here, but there was something that they did, and it was just a phenomenon. The people did a camera, and they ran around. What was that called in the? They just followed themselves through a
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch
Right, that's what
Project,
it was, right.
something like that, and that really kind of think those type of shows kind of hit the mainstream, and a lot of people with the technology really jumped in.
Well, that was great because it was such an internet phenomenon.
Sure.
They were able to publicize the movie so well before the movie even came out that
Yeah.
they had hundreds and thousands of fans
Sure.
just by showing trailers and creating a hook. So they were able to ride that wave. But now, since so many people are making movies, there's so much more competition, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those movies being made are quality. You know, so we take pride in our students here in southern New Mexico. They've won statewide awards in a lot of filmmaking competitions so far. And Branden is stepping off and doing it pretty much on his own, and they came up with a great way to raise some money
We're going to talk a
for
lot
their
more
movie.
about that.
So,
Yeah, you know,
very creative.
You know, Mark, again, you know, I continue to hear positive things about the industry here. You know, when we spent some time with Wes Studi,
That's right.
you know, he was down and he was mentioning how impressed he was with the group down here south.
Right.
So obviously a lot of potential here, and we got to get the story out. So, Branden, when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about La Llorona, how you came up with that story, why that. I mean, there's so many topics you could have done, so many stories you could have told. Why specifically that one? In addition to that, obviously it costs money to produce a film, and we want to obviously help in getting the word out so that we can raise some funds and get your story out there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a break right now. We'll be back in a few seconds. Thank you for watching the Business Networking channel hosted by the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. We'll see you in a few seconds.